Uh-oh, we are back, and this is episode 87 of the We Are One, You Are Two PlayStation podcast. I am your host for all 87 episodes, Rob Fanzo, joined once again by my co-host in Chicago, Matt Rhodes.
Heyo.
I accidentally, because I was thinking about your name, I almost said I am your host, Matt Rhodes. I don't know why I would have done that, but I almost said that when I was.
I certainly would have introduced myself as Robert Fanzo if that was the case.
Yeah, we could have switched it up, and they would have been like, I swear this guy sounded different on the last 86 episodes.
Exactly.
Or if they're first-time listeners, they would have been like, oh, that's what they sound like. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then next week, they'd be like, what?
Yeah. What is wrong with these guys? Do they not know who they are? No, I don't. I have an identity crisis at least once a week.
Depends on how much you've been drinking.
That's right. Which, for this episode, probably about 4 cups of coffee.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of coffee.
Yeah, well, 3 earlier today.
I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum where I have 0 cups of coffee. So.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to tell me 0 cups of coffee and like 4 drinks.
Oh, no.
I thought that was what you meant by opposite end of the spectrum. All right, Matt. We've got a great show lined up for people this week. We're going to talk all kinds of PlayStation news. We're going to talk about what we've been playing. We're going to do the PS blog as we always do. We're going to talk a little bit about what the next big game is that's coming out this week as well. It's coming out pretty soon in the next couple of weeks. And we're going to cover a little bit about PlayStation VR as well. So we've got all kinds of... It's a smorgasbord of things, as I'd like to say, today. But to kind of get things started, as is tradition and as it does dictate, shall we talk about what we've been actually playing this week?
We shall, Robert.
Because I've been playing a lot.
Oh, surprise, surprise. Your docket is full. All right, well, I'll start. We'll get this over with quickly for me. I'm only going to say Fortnite and Rocket League, because clearly everyone who listens knows me. But a little bit of a curveball. A little bit of curveball, pun intended. I played a game of MLB The Show 19.
That is hilarious. I'll tell you why in a minute.
Yeah, I was just like, let me try it out, whatever. So I played a game. It was pretty fun. I hit a couple home runs. I won, like, I don't know, 9-1 or 8-1, something like that.
Now, when's the last time you played a baseball game?
Oh, my gosh. The 90s, maybe?
That's what I was wondering. Like, has it been a while?
Yeah, like legit. It's probably been like 20 years since I've played a baseball game. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So it was good. I liked it. It was, there were very frustrating times when I was running the bases because I don't know, for whatever reason, it was very frustrating trying to get people to either go back to the base they were on or advance, and I got picked off a couple times because of probably my stupidity or maybe just the button controls not being very apparent.
Okay.
But so that was a little frustrating, but I mean I still won the game, so I can't complain. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, I played the crap out of Cuphead.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask you if you did because I knew I played the crap out of Cuphead too.
I'm in hell. I'm in the hell inkwell. So,
goodness, you are definitely ahead of me then.
Yeah, for sure. And it is... Oh, just wait till you get there. Because it is... otherworldly, if you will. It's very interesting what you have to do to get past, like, even the mini-boss. So, I haven't gotten to the devil yet, because I'm sure he's the last guy, but, yeah, there's a very interesting thing. But I really like the art for the end level. I think they did a lot of cool things with the different little mini bosses, basically. So you'll see when you get there. I mean, I guess I'm not spoiling too much by telling you, but
I don't think so. It's a 2-year-old game too, so
yeah. Once you get to the casino, or like there's a casino in hell. You go to the casino. There's the guy that's been like directing you along the whole time, like the guy with the dice head.
Right.
I don't know his name, but the guy with the dice head. Anyways, you have to like
I think he's just dice head.
Yeah, you have to like roll the dice to like advance on like the little board that he has, and there's like a safe spot every 4 spots, but the dice is only 3. It only goes up to 3. So in those, and there's 3 different sections before you can even get to him. So you have to fight potentially 9 mini bosses if you roll a 1 the whole time. So potentially 9 mini bosses before you can even fight him. And you have to do all of this on 1 life.
Okay.
So it's pretty interesting. I played it for so long that I knew each boss and kind of how to beat them. But I only got to him a couple times, and the times that I did, I only had like 1 or 2 hits left. So by the time I thought I was able to, do something to get him, I was not. You know what I mean? Like I would, and it was. I think it threw me the first time. Is it starts like right away. Like I thought, like most of the mini bosses, you kind of like there's like a loading screen, but whenever you're at the finish and you have to fight him, it literally goes right into it. I'm just like, what's happening? So that was a little frustrating, but yeah, I don't know. I played it for probably maybe just 1 or maybe even 1, maybe 2 hours just trying to get to him.
Wow.
Just playing those mini bosses over and over and over and trying to strategize and trying to figure out how the dice spins so I can like get it to land on the exact number that I want it to so I can land on the exact spots that I want to kind of because there's random spots in each section that give you a heart back. So if I know that I can play that play that boss without losing a heart, I'm gaining a heart. So you could potentially have like 9 hits, or no, not 9, 8 hits by the time you get to him if you don't get hit by any of the mini bosses. So
okay,
potentially,
right.
So yeah, but I mean it's really a lot of fun.
Cool. I watched a.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, I watched a Let's Play of it a couple years ago, and I realized that I remember certain bosses from that Let's Play, and then other ones I don't. And so it's very interesting to play and hear you talk about it, because some of it's coming back, and the other parts I'm like, I know I watched them play through this, but I do not remember like what you're exactly talking about. So
yeah, no, it's very interesting. I thought it was really well done as far as like the way that you're supposed to advance through that. It's very Super Mario 3 like 8-8 world. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like when you're in like remember Super Mario 3 at the very like the last world is level, world 8.
Yes.
There's flying ships and there's an actual ship, but then like that second part, you kind of like have to like go across this little area and these little hands like pull you in. That's kind of what it reminded me of. I mean, you have more of a direct like path on your fate where it's if you can kind of like read the way the dice is going and jump at the right time, that's kind of cool. But it's not necessarily as random, but it's still kind of like that where you have to kind of progress in that way. So
okay.
So what have you been playing, Robert?
Goodness. So I've been playing a ton of Code Vein, and that's probably up there with my top 5 games of the year.
Yeah.
It is just so anime and so much fun in that regard. And go ahead.
Can I interrupt really quickly and just say I have a bone to pick with you? You sent me one stupid Reddit post about Code Vein, and now Reddit thinks I like Code Vein, and it keeps sending me notifications for Code Vein's Reddit post. I'm like, dude, I do not like this. I don't know how I'm supposed to turn it off because I surely did not subscribe to that said Reddit thread, but it still keeps coming up in my notifications for whatever reason.
That's just my way of getting you to purchase that game, so that when I go on New Game Plus, I'll play it through it with you. But if it's on sale, if it drops down, because I know it's not your type of thing, I'm telling you, there's only one boss I haven't been able to beat with a companion. I had to summon somebody for. Other than that, it's been such a breeze to play through. I feel kind of bad because, like I said, it doesn't feel like a Souls-like game. It feels like just an action RPG type game. So I've been playing a ton of that. And then I finished Remnant from the Ashes finally. And goodness, that is just so good. I love it. And It's probably one of those games I will easily see myself jumping back into to re-roll the world, so I can get all the like
Right.
different weapons and secrets there's two different ways to beat each boss to get two different weapons or two different upgrades. And so even if I fought a boss before, I have to go through and beat him at least twice to get the two different things. And they hinted that in the next month they're probably going to drop more free stuff for people to do. So I kind of feel like I can continue now to build my character until they release that stuff. And so
Yeah.
that's really exciting. So I finished that. And then on top of those two, I guess really, trying to think what else I dived back into this week. I dove back into, I bought Medieval. I didn't play it yet. And so that's on my list to do. I tried the Trails of Cold Steel 3 demo and I realized I don't know anything that's going on. So I need to play the first two if I'm even going to consider that. And then
This isn't a what you didn't play, Robert. This is a what you did play.
I know,
We
I
know
I'm thinking.
we know the list of what you didn't play is extremely long, and your backlog is extremely high in the numbers. So let's just stick to what you did play.
I usually write it down. I know I did, and this is interesting. I did play a lot of Cuphead like you did. I'm on the third island like you were, and so I'm a little bit behind you there. I've gotten through a couple bosses on the third island. I played a lot of Astral Chain. I played some Super Mario Odyssey as well. And I re-downloaded, and this is in the news, we'll talk about this. I re-downloaded Helldivers. I didn't open it up yet. I'm going to open it up tonight and play it. But I re-downloaded Helldivers. That was a free PS Plus game back in the day. And we'll talk about why I re-downloaded that. I also downloaded the show, which is so funny you mentioned that because I realized it was the end of October, and I wanted to play a baseball game. I haven't played a baseball game in years. And I was like, I need to play this. It goes away in a couple of days. And so like you, I downloaded it. I just haven't played it yet. And so I kind of appreciated the fact that you got a couple baseball games in. Maybe you and I will play a game against each other and see how that goes.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Because I haven't played in years. And so you probably would have the advantage, I'd imagine. But we'll see. You know, two guys that haven't played baseball in years, see how that goes.
I mean, I literally played one game, so yeah, I have that much of an advantage over you.
Exactly. All right. So anyway, that's really all I've been playing this week. Shorter list, I guess. It's because I sunk probably 40 hours into Code Vein over the past 2 weeks. So, all right, let's move on. Let's talk about, in case you missed it, as we always do. These are the news stories that this past week that came out. As always, you know, we're trying to catch up on last week's news. So, and I do want to apologize to listeners about last week's episode. I know it was a little delayed in getting out, but not a big problem. We'll try to be better about that in the future. So, I thought I'd start off with some rumors, as tweeted out by the notorious leaker Sabi, who has revealed a number of games prior to their E3 announcements. There was a leak from Sabi that said that the new Batman game is called Batman Arkham Legacy. And she said that the stuff playable about the family seems to be legit. And so this could be the Court of Owls storyline that so many people have talked about or wanted to see, that they kind of teased a while back. And you're not familiar with any of that, correct?
No.
Court of Owls. So that's part of the New 52 relaunch that Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo did, and Capullo, I believe is his name. They launched it last year or the year before, and so I picked all those up over the summer and I started reading them. And the Court of Owls is like a secret society that runs Gotham. And so basically this new Batman game could be dealing with the fact that you're fighting against this secret society of Gotham. And trying to maybe wrestle for control of Gotham, that they are pulling the strings. And they in the comic, they tell Batman, we've been around for 130 years, you have not been. And so we run this city. This is our city, not yours. And so they actually beat him to the point where they almost break and destroy him completely. And so I would love to see that. There's like a whole this would tie in nicely with like the Scarecrow segments, because he starts hallucinating in the comic, and he starts seeing visions, and he basically gets broken down to the point where he basically wants to give up and die. And so then he kind of fights back from it. But it would be really cool to see you fight the Court of Owls. They could bring in like maybe Ra's al Ghul and stuff like that, and kind of use him and the assassins to really play that up even more. So we'll see. Anyway, odds are it'll probably be announced at the Game Awards on December 12th. That would be the big guess, since everybody thought it was going to be announced at that PlayStation event, and it never came. But it sounds like it might be then instead. So we'll see. I would dig that personally if they did that. So we'll see what happens. Speaking of games that are not clear what's going on with them, I don't know if you saw the news about Darksiders Genesis this week, but the upcoming top-down spin-off to the franchise of the same name has a confirmed release date, but it's not on console yet. It is getting to hit PC and Stadia on December 5th, but the PS4 version isn't out till February 14th. Now, I don't know about you, but I did the math, and that's approximately 1 week before The Last of Us Part 2 comes out. And so I would like to say that Darksiders Genesis has shot themselves in the foot in this regard. Because I can't imagine anybody wanting to pick that up after or in anticipation of The Last of Us Part 2 coming out. So I did want to point that out.
What do you mean?
I don't. Well, let's be honest. How many people want to spend $60 for Darksiders Genesis and then the next week spend another $60 on The Last of Us Part 2?
No, what do you mean?
I know I
next
don't.
Week.
Oh no, that's right. I'm sorry. When there it is. Thank you for correcting me way too late on that. But
yeah, you should have put the other news line ahead of that so you would remember. Yeah,
when I wrote the stock pushed earlier in the week.
I'm sure you have it in here, but The Last of Us got pushed back.
I did, yeah. And when I put this news story in there, it was earlier in the week before that was announced. My apologies. So it's Last of Us Part 2. We'll take care of that, and talk about that. Well, it was originally the week before, and so I guess they've saved themselves a little bit there.
Yeah.
Although
I'm sure they're super happy.
I'm sure they are too. However, when's the Final Fantasy VII Remake come out? Is that not March 3rd? So that's a couple weeks before that. So I guess they gave us a little bit of a buffer, but not too much. So do we just want to talk about that now too? Last of Us Part 2, since we brought it up?
I mean, we might as well.
All right, so I have this news story in here somewhere, but of course, if you haven't heard by now, if you've been living under a rock, The Last of Us Part 2 did get delayed this past week. And so it in a letter on the PlayStation blog, so if you go to the PlayStation blog, Neil Druckmann wrote a nice little letter to fans letting people know that while they wanted to, and I'm paraphrasing, while they really wanted to hit their goal date, they're going to come right out and say it, that The Last of Us Part 2 got pushed back to May. And so will not be out till May 29th, 2020, which, from what I understand and what I've heard about rumors about Ghost of Tsushima being already ready for a February date, and they were going to push that back to May or June because they wanted to give Last of Us Part 2 time to breathe and have that come out. It sounds like now this means that we won't get Ghost of Tsushima till probably August or September.
Yikes.
And so that's kind of cutting it close to next-gen consoles.
Yeah, I bet you they're going to make sure that the backwards compatibility works for Ghost of Tsushima first.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because and they're gonna have a hard sell, I think, with Ghost of Tsushima. I would just save it. If you're gonna push it back to September, push it back to November when you're gonna release the console, because that's more than likely going to be the release date. And then just give that as a launch title. I would buy a PS5 if that was a PS5 launch title. Right? I mean, I'm going to buy one anyway, but
I mean, it's for PS4. I don't know how much they would have to do to upgrade it to PS5.
I don't know. Yeah, that's true. They have they have developed it thinking, right, that it would be a PS4 game. And so I don't know. I don't know how much they would have to do. However, I still think that would be a little bit of a wiser move on Sony's part, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong there.
If it's going to be ready or is ready, why not give Ghost of Tsushima first?
Yeah. and I know that messes up a lot of marketing, but my understanding was that the pacing of Ghost of Tsushima and in terms of the team developing it, Sucker Punch, I read rumors or heard rumors this week that there was a good possibility that it could be finished, or was finished before The Last of Us Part 2. It would be finished, and that they were just going to hang on to it, right?
Yeah.
Give them more development time if they needed it, let them polish it some more. And so, on the other hand, I'd hate for them to go back to Sucker Punch and be like, so guys, we need this now. I know we told you, take more time to develop it, but we need it now. So
yeah, that's true.
And then that messes up your marketing machine that you've got going because you haven't really been able to drum it up the way you've drummed up The Last of Us Part 2. So I guess it's just better to wait on that. So May 29th, yeah, for The Last of Us Part 2. All right, what else we got here? Well, we hit up Darksiders, we hit up Last of Us Part 2. I guess we might as well talk about PlayStation VR. Marvel's Iron Man VR apparently seems to be getting high praise. There was a lot of hands-on the past couple of weeks with it. And Push Square and a couple other websites wrote about it and said that they thought it was very natural feeling and that Camouflage has done a great job of making it feel like part of your body. So you point the two move controllers at the ground, allowing you to hover. You flick them behind you, you'll shoot into the air. You flick them in front of you, you'll come to a stop. You can fire with them. And so it just sounds like it's shaping up to be really, really awesome. And so I really didn't have anything else to add to that story. I just wanted to share that because I thought it was really cool that they have developed this game so well that it sounds like this could be a big hit for people who have a PSVR. And so It's not going to be Insomniac's Spider-Man, but it should do well, I think. I would hope it would push VR units out the door. So it'd be cool if they did like an Iron Man bundle with it. I don't know what exactly they do. Maybe a VR headset which they haven't started customizing the VR headset yet, which I think is a missed opportunity. The way that they have all these custom PlayStation bundles. I don't know if it's as easy to customize, but you could. I'd like to see that personally. All right. Moving on. Did you see the statement from Activision issued to Eurogamer regarding Call of Duty this week?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay. So let me tell you about it. Modern Warfare apparently is not going to be sold in Russia at this time. And so Sony Interactive Entertainment has decided not to sell Modern Warfare on PlayStation Store in Russia at this time. We apologize for the inconvenience. So I don't know if there's anything to that. I don't know. I haven't played the game. But I assume that there's probably some sort of nod to Russian terrorists or something of that nature that they don't want people to bother with it in Russia. And so rather than face the censorship or the scrutiny, they just decided they're not going to bother. So I wanted to bring that up. So we'll see what happens there.
That's a pretty big country to ignore.
It is a pretty big country to ignore. I know that their sales data is probably not as strong over there as it is here, right? But that's still a market that you're missing out on. And so that's kind of a shame to do that because that's for Sony anyway, because you are just missing out with that. All right. Fallout 76 was in the news this week.
What?
I don't
know.
I don't know if you caught this one. Did you see this one?
People still play that?
People still play it, and people are finally get what they wanted. They are finally getting their individual servers. That's right. They are getting the opportunity, my friends, to have individual servers with something called Fallout First. It is a premium membership for the online-only shooter. It grants you access to private servers, unlimited storage of crafting items, a monthly supply of atoms, and much more. Of course, though, this can be all yours for $100 a year.
Interesting.
So that's a little pricey.
Yeah.
A little pricey.
Most of the features are BS, and they've been asking for single server, or your own server for the whole length of time that it's been out.
Yes. So you can have that all for $100 a year or $12.99 a month. Of course, why you would do that, I don't know, but you can. The other thing that cracks me up about this is apparently Bethesda forgot to register the whole, Fallout First website. I don't know if you saw this as well. They forgot to register the falloutfirst.com. And so an angry fan registered falloutfirst.com. If you head there, I don't know if it's been shut down yet. I don't know if it's copyright issues or if Bethesda's even going to go after them. But you can go over there and it basically trash talks with a bunch of F-bombs and other words that I won't repeat here. The Fallout First bundle and the Fallout 76 game itself. So, yeah. There's that as well. Somebody got very angry about and decided to take Bethesda up on it and create their own website for it. It's actually, have you looked at the site?
Oh, yeah, 100%. It's great.
It's actually really impressively done, is it not?
Yeah.
Like, this is somebody who has some coding.
It looks that good, and it was done that quickly?
Yeah. It's one of those things that kind of made me laugh a little bit because I was like, whoever did this has some coding skills. Like, they threw together, like, a very impressive site very quickly. And so it wasn't just an angry fan. It was an angry fan who knows HTML as well as and Java and stuff. It was really impressive.
Yeah.
So moving on from there, PS Plus and PlayStation Now subscriptions are, pretty good deals, I'd say. And I'm actually thinking about getting PS Now, possibly, and trying it out. There is a 7-day free trial.
Oh.
And so I thought about doing that, trying the free trial, and then maybe doing it just for 1 month for $9.99 to see what it was like, just to kind of get a taste of it, right? Well, anyway,
Sure.
Apparently, this all ties into the idea that, you can download or stream titles from 3 different generations, and especially the PS4 ones you can download. Well, apparently Devolver Digital, one of my favorite publishers this week, they did Hotline Miami, The Messenger, Minute, Ruiner. They said that they are concerned the number of games being offered at such a low price could lead to titles getting buried almost immediately. In an interview with GameSpot, co-founder Graham Struther said, quote, "You do wonder if it's going to lead to a situation where there's so much content that you kind of fall off the edge. That's the one that keeps us up at night, and Donald Trump and Boris Johnson," end quote. I kind of wanted your thoughts on this. This is the first news story I really kind of want to pick at a little bit. Do you think that PS Now is going to cause, or Xbox Game Pass could cause smaller indie titles to get buried and hidden?
I don't necessarily see why it would, though. Like, PlayStation Now is a streaming service, right? Like, of games that were already, like, you don't have to pay for it. Or, I mean, you have to pay for the service, but you don't have to pay for the game itself, right?
Right.
Are they afraid that their new game is going to be overlooked by people playing old games? Is that what it is? Like,
I think it might partly be that. It might be something like Outer Worlds being on Game Pass, for example, and they're worried that their game will be passed up because of something like Outer Worlds being there.
Oh,
and so I wonder
that makes sense, I guess, to a certain extent.
Because like,
however,
so yeah, go ahead.
I mean, if people, I don't know. I feel like if people are going to buy that game, they're going to buy that game anyways, right?
So this is kind of my argument too about it. If I really want an indie game, I'm probably going to pay for the indie game anyway.
Right.
I don't foresee me going, I don't foresee myself totally ignoring an indie game because it's on the same service as PS Now, right? If everything moves to a streaming future, I don't foresee. And let's be honest, the way the PlayStation Store operates now, most of their games get buried anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like most of their games get buried anyway. Because if you think about the blog that you and I read every week, how many games come out every week?
So many, dude.
So many that there's some weeks that there's 25 games coming out. I don't remember half of those.
Sometimes they come out twice.
yeah. Sometimes we're reading that same description for 3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
And so I understand and I appreciate their concern. I just don't foresee where this is going to be a thing where their game is going to get buried. Because when I think of the games that I listed there that Devolver Digital has published, Hotline Miami, The Messenger, Minute, Ruiner, most of those have found an audience anyway. Do you know what I mean? Most of those have picked up an audience and went, oh, we really want to play this indie game. In fact, there's games every week that you and I read that we're like, oh, that sounds good. That might be interesting. And we look into it anyway. Whether it's Dumpster Bear or, whatever. What was it called? Angry Dumpster Bear? Or Dumpster Bear on Fire?
Dumpster Bear.
Epic Dumpster Bear, yeah. So, I appreciate Devolver Digital's concern, but Devolver Digital, I think you're stressing out a little too much. I think it will be fine. I really do. All right. So, moving on. Speaking of PS Now and PS Plus and other services, did you see that PS Vue is up for sale?
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
Okay, I thought you fell asleep there. Yeah, PS Vue is up for sale. It looks like Sony is looking to dump the service. I've seen multiple news stories this week where Sony has gone as far as hiring Bank of America to help explore the sale of PlayStation Vue because it runs behind in YouTube and Hulu and Sling TV in number of subscribers. PlayStation Vue has about 500,000 subscribers, whereas the rest of those have over 2 million subscribers.
Oh, wow.
And so, and there's a bunch of other stats that I'm not going to read out of the articles that I found, but basically, Sony's PlayStation Views may be having 2,000 downloads per day, whereas Hulu and YouTube have anywhere between 22 and 78,000 per day for their TV services. And
That's
so you can
insane.
kind of see why, if you think about the way Sony is trying to cut costs because PlayStation is its most profitable sector, it makes sense that they are trying to get rid of it, right? Because I think what they're doing is they're putting all that money that they're losing there, and they want to push PS Now next gen. So I think that's why they're tossing it off. More. Yeah, I think so. All right, so we covered that. Let's see. Dreams. Oh, dreams. I don't know if you saw this week or not. But apparently, Dreams, and it's the studio co-founder of Media Molecule, believes that Dreams will eventually be on PC and Mac, and that Dreams will last, quote, 20 years, and, quote, we will keep expanding it and adding to it and improving it. The Dreams co-founder also went on to say, Kareem also went on to say that they believe that, quote, we need to reach an audience and then grow, but it's definitely in our dreams, no pun intended, to do pro versions that are expanded. It just depends on a lot of things working out for us. And so it sounds like they really, really want Dreams to be a 20-year-long game. Where have we heard that before? Destiny. So I don't foresee that happening. But they also want that because they believe that they want to have it to the point where, did you see this, where you can actually take something you create in Dreams and make it an indie game?
Wow, that's crazy.
And so they haven't figured out all the logistics yet, but they want the idea for Dreams to become like a tool maker, that you create this and then you can sell it on the PlayStation Marketplace. So,
yeah, I'd like to see what people create if that's the case.
Yes, however, seeing as we already get a whole bunch of junk on the PlayStation Store now, I would hope that it has to pass some sort of certification process that is a little bit more rigorous.
Yeah, true.
Because I don't want a Mario Kart knockoff or 10 of them to flood my PlayStation Weekly drop. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where, like, it's bare bones environment and it's really basic looking and it plays atrociously, but they're like, oh, but he wanted to create this and sell it on the, you know? So I don't know how exactly that's all going to work out, but apparently they want this to be the eventual goal with this. So we'll see.
I don't know. 20 years seems a little far-fetched.
Yeah, Destiny didn't even make it 5 before they dropped their 10-year plan. So I don't foresee that happening. All right. WWE 2K20. I feel like we talked about this before. Did we not talk about how trashy it is this year? Last week? We did.
We definitely talked. I don't know if we did it on air.
I think we may have. Well, if we didn't, obviously it's having issues. But apparently now people are seeking out refunds from Sony because it's so broken that there's a hashtag fix WWE 2K20 on Twitter. And apparently Sony is granting refunds.
Wow.
And so if you're not getting your refund right away, you may want to try a different representative, but it sounds like Sony is giving out refunds for 2K20.
I mean, if it's bad, it's that bad, you know?
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. I could imagine that they'll give some and then others they won't. I imagine it'll probably boil down to how long you've played it or how long you've owned it. Because Sony does have something where certain games they will refund if you have purchased it and haven't played it or downloaded it within 48 hours, I think it is. They will refund it.
Yeah, true.
And so I'll be curious to see how well they do this with WWE 2K20 as well, see how they balance that or handle that too. So we'll see. All right. I think that's about to wrap it up in case you missed it. So shall we move on?
Yeah, it's probably best.
So, Matt, I wanted to touch on just something briefly here that kind of got me thinking about this. So we know Bluepoint is developing a game. They're remastering a game, right? They've done Shadows of the Colossus. They are working on something big that's probably going to be a PlayStation 5 launch. A lot of people believe it is Demon Souls, and I could see that. They haven't exactly said no to that. But I wanted to ask you, if you could think of an early game from either the PlayStation 1 or the PlayStation 2 era that you would want to see make a return on the PS5 in a remastered version, I was wondering if there was anything you could think of that you would love to see. Like, let's pretend they come out and they're like, oh, we finally need to tell you guys it's not Demon Souls. We are not, remaking that. But we were working on something else. Is there something in particular? Because we're obviously getting like Final Fantasy VII Remake. We've gotten Crash Team Racing. We've got Resident Evil 2 Remake. But is there something big you would like to see come out for the PlayStation 5 as a remake or a redo? With updated graphics, controls?
Yes, absolutely. I think I'm going with classic. I'm going to have to go with classic. I love this game. I played all these games growing up. It's been a long time since we've had one. And I think a launch title of Twisted Metal would be phenomenal.
Oh, yes.
I just think that would be... I mean, it's not that I'm not going to buy it day one anyways, but if that was the launch title, I mean... 100%, like, no question about it, no ifs, ands, or buts. I'm getting the PlayStation 5 the day it comes out, and I'm playing Twisted Metal for like 2-3 days.
Yes. Yeah, we need to get David Jaffe on that, because that would be phenomenal.
I mean, I just think it's a game that we haven't seen in such a long time. So for them, and that's kind of like, when you look back, like, classic PlayStation games, right? Like, games that were defined on PlayStation. I feel like Twisted Metal is certainly up there.
And let me tell you why I agree with you 100%, and I think the time is right for a Twisted Metal. You have all these Battle Royale games, and what was Twisted Metal but a car Battle Royale type game, right?
Oh my gosh, could you imagine a Battle Royale version of Twisted Metal? That'd be insane.
Yeah, and we don't even need 100 cars. Give us if you give us
Lord,
50. No. Give us half of that. or even give us
I don't even
20.
think you need 50.
20.
Yeah, 25 would be plenty. That's a lot.
Yeah. 25 would be incredible. 25 Twisted Metal vehicles.
Yeah.
Would be phenomenal.
Could you imagine a map like Fortnite, but you're playing Twisted Metal?
Oh, I'm
Like
just
that
salivating
massive?
thinking about it.
Like that massive? You're just like, you have to like drive around and kind of loot up, get your kind of like power-ups in order, and then just kind of like drive around like hunting down people. That'd be insane, man.
That would be beautiful.
Oh my gosh, I'm giggling just thinking about it because that brings me so much joy.
I think that would be a perfect launch title, and I think that would be perfect for Sony to get into the first party multiplayer, arena that they keep talking about wanting to have a great multiplayer game. And I think it's got enough nostalgia at this point that people go, yes, absolutely, right?
Yeah, 100%.
I would take that. I would agree with you on that. I'm going to jump in and say that one I would love to see remastered would be Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. And I don't know if you played that back in the day, but Crystal Dynamics made it, and I loved that game. That was,
it sounds super familiar.
Yeah, if you looked it up, it's pretty popular cover art. You'd go, oh yes, I know that right away. I would love to see that remastered and remade. We've got several vampire-esque games on the PlayStation ecosystem now. We've got several coming. I would love to see Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver brought back and remastered. I mean, I appreciate what they've done with Medieval, and I can't wait to play that this week. I'm like so excited to play that because I just love that game. And I don't care that it's still janky. I love that jankiness. That's part of the charm of it. I think Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver would be a similar thing. Now, it would probably benefit from updated control scheme and some other few things, but and it's not my top choice. My top choice would be Twisted Metal, like you said, but I think that would be a great one as well.
Yeah.
And
Ooh, I
could
another one.
Hit me with it.
I mean, I might be alone in this because I just love these games, but Siphon Filter.
Oh, no. I would love a Siphon Filter.
Oh my gosh. I loved those games. I thought they were just, I don't know, well done in a way that because I'm not it was just a well done, third person shooter. Or was it first? I can't even remember.
It was third.
Yeah.
It was a third person stealth, somewhat stealth shooting, right? Game. Now, to clarify,
like technology and stuff like that.
Yeah. To clarify, you and I both know that, games like that and Legacy of Kain are obviously not first party studios, and so obviously Bluepoint is not working on those. Twisted Metal would be more of a reality than any of those two, but those still would be two great games to bring back. I would love a Siphon Filter.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
That would be fantastic.
Well, actually, I think Siphon Filter is Bend Studios.
Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah.
What? I was thinking it was not. I was thinking it was
SIE
Ubisoft for some reason.
Developer SIE Bend Studio.
I guess I was thinking
who just did Days Gone. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, which they're clearly working on Days Gone too. I mean, they've kind of pretty much let that cat out of the bag
for sure.
This past week too. I did not mention that in the news, but they did. Yeah, that would be a good one too. Then, well, that's great. Then that is a good first party choice, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw another one out there that's not first party, but I really, really want Parasite Eve. Parasite Eve or Dino Crisis.
Oh my gosh, Dino Crisis? Get out of here.
I would love those two as well. I think those both have a lot of potential. Just like Silent Hill, I think, has a lot of potential. We'll never see that because of Konami, but Parasite Eve, at least we have a fighting shot, right? Because that is Square. And that would that has maybe a potential as well.
Yeah.
So I would love to see that too. I'm trying to think of other first party games from Sony that I would like to, because those are all games that jump into my head, right? Parasite Eve, Legacy of Kain, Dino Crisis, Twisted Metal. Those are all games, and some of those are first party, some of those are not. In terms of first party, though, PlayStation first party games, I was trying to think if there was anything else that I would want out of this, because the only other game that keeps popping in my head, and I know it's Ubisoft, so I know it's not first party, is the Driver games. I don't know if you played either one of those.
Okay.
Or maybe there was 3. Driver 1, Driver 2, and Driver 3. They were basically like GTA, except you couldn't get out of the car.
Interesting.
Probably more like... was it the Saboteur was a driving game?
Wait, say it again?
Was the Saboteur a driving game, or was that a stealth game?
No, Saboteur was like...
I never played it.
Nazi Germany, or Nazi... France, World War II kind of a game.
But you weren't in a car, right? You were just driving, or
no,
you weren't.
I mean, you could. I think you could drive, but no,
okay.
You're just going around Paris. Kind of. It was a very Far Cry-esque game where you're kind of like doing, things
okay,
like clearing checkpoints and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Also, I don't know if this is fake, but right now I just saw something about Dino Crisis Remake. 20th anniversary.
No, I haven't heard anything about that.
I mean, this is literally August 5th, so, I mean, it's pretty brand new, this little trailer. That I don't know if it was just
probably somebody trolling.
This trailer, but if it's like a fan thing, but...
Probably.
Looks pretty legit.
So are there any other franchises off the top of your head that you think are ripe for a remake at this point? Because those are, we've rattled off about 4 or 5. I know we talked last week about the Simpsons Hit and Run creator wanting to bring that back as well. And having that as a potential. And I know I mentioned a lot of PlayStation games. There is one PlayStation game we haven't mentioned that I feel is very important and that I would love to have, and it's a PlayStation 2 game. I would really love to have it come back again, and that is Ape Escape.
Wait, it was what?
Ape Escape. Do you remember Ape Escape with the apes? It was the first game to use the dual analog sticks.
Yeah.
I would love that to come back as well. That would be probably my final pick as well for games I would like to see remade would be that. Or Destruction Derby. I would take a new Destruction Derby, although I think Wreckfest kind of fills that void that came out recently. I haven't played it yet, but it does seem like that fills the void as well.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's all I've got in terms of games that I could think of.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I would like really be like, yes, 100%. Yeah, no, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, those are the big ones that jump to mind that I think that I also see constantly on social media that people are clamoring for. And so, not that there aren't an endless list of games to choose from, but I think those are the ones that have the best chance. And I also think would be worth having again. That you could reignite a passionate fan base about. Because there are people who still talk about those games fondly. Kind of like Final Fantasy VII. And obviously we see Capcom has done this very well. And they clearly want to explore more of their IPs in the future, which bodes well for a lot of other older games too. So we'll see. Bluepoint, I'm very curious to see what they're working on. If it is Demon's Souls, that'd be great because that's the only Soulsborne game I haven't played yet. But if it's not that and it's something else, boy, would it be great if it was Twisted Metal. But I think Jaffe would have to be involved there because I feel like he is too much the blood line of Twisted Metal.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that certainly makes sense.
All right, so let's move on. Shall we tackle the drop this week?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So this is
See you soon.
as tradition dictates, you usually like to go first. And Matt, it is a doozy this week. Like, it is a doozy. Well, this might be our longest one of the year, I mean. Just scrolling through very briefly. Yeah, so grab a cup of coffee, settle down. We're going to hell and out drinking Satan in an after party, but we're also going to have a lot of other games to talk about too. So I'll let you start. Clear your calendar, kids. This is going to be a while.
All right. Might as well just hack away at it. 39 Days to Mars, PS4 digital. Embark on the 19th century's most unreliable spaceship in this two-player couch co-op adventure. 39 Days to Mars is a unique game designed to be played with a friend, where both players have important roles in the expedition. Solo players are aided by the computer-controlled ship's cat. Interesting.
I've heard good things about that one. I don't know much else about it, but I have heard good things.
Most unreliable spaceship. I like that.
Yeah, that is good. That's a good description. That's not too bad at all. All right. After Party. In After Party, you are Milo and Lola, recently deceased best buds who suddenly find themselves staring down an eternity in hell. But there's a loophole. Outdrink Satan and he'll grant you re-entry to Earth. Time to go on the best bender ever.
Yeah, that looks pretty cool.
Yeah, that looks like that might be interesting.
I swear that came out already, though. But
okay. I thought it did too, but maybe it was on PC.
Maybe. All right, up next is Annihilation, PS4 digital. Annihilation is a top-down arcade shooter. Defend your base from waves of enemies that spawn in random variations for endless fun. Try to earn high scores and go for perfect scores. Ooh, grab a friend and fight off waves of enemies together in a special co-op mode. Or go head-to-head in versus mode. Prepare for the onslaught.
I'm not saying this in a negative way, but that looks like you're playing as a lemon with hands.
It does.
I don't know.
That's awesome.
I think it's supposed to be a guy's head, and then his eyeballs are like in the front, right? And that's like curly hair.
I know what it's supposed to be, Robert.
But it looks like a lemon with hands. Oh well. All right. Anti-Graviator. Ooh, I just like the name of that. Anti-Graviator. Anti-Graviator is a slick new take on the anti-gravity racing genre. Use traps, power-ups, and boosts to overtake your opponents and dominate the track in single-player or multiplayer mode. With no speed limit holding you back, Anti-Graviator delivers the fastest racing experience of the future. Maybe that's like a new Wipeout for those of us who still enjoy Wipeout.
Yeah, for sure. All right, up next is Atelier Ryza, Ever Darkness and the Secret Hideout. Interesting. Tired of village life? Ryza and friends leave the village and head to the isle across the shore as their first adventure. With the alchemist and others, it's a summer adventure they'll never forget. Well, that was quick.
I gotta say, that is apparently the best-selling... That game series has been out for over 20 years. And it is the best-selling series... best-selling game in that series in the last 20 years. It sold something like 350,000 or 250,000 units in Japan in its first week. Because it came out over there a couple weeks ago. And so, yeah. There's that. So apparently it's a big deal.
Yeah.
So, all right, Blind Spot. Blind Spot is a story-driven VR adventure game. Explore rooms, solve puzzles, follow your heart, and decide what the truth is in the end.
Ooh.
What is the truth in the end?
I don't know. Probably death.
Probably.
All right, up next we got Castle Costume, PS4 digital out 10/31. Ooh, Halloweeny. Castle Costume is a platform action-adventure game set in a semi-open world environment and played from a third-person perspective. Travel between 4 worlds, which can be explored without time limits. Throughout the game, unlock different abilities and befriend characters as only together can you save Halloween. Ooh.
Cool. I can't help it. Certain games like this one kind of just appeal to me. Not because of it sounds like it's any good necessarily. I just like this time of year, like the fall, and all this stuff. So, all right. Citadel, Forged with Fire. Citadel, Forged with Fire is a massive online sandbox RPG with elements of magic, spellcasting, and inter-kingdom conflicts. As a newly minted apprentice of the magic arts, you will set off to investigate the dangerous world of Ignis. Your goal? Create a name for yourself and achieve notoriety and power among the land's ruling houses.
Ooh. All right, up next, Close to the Sun, PS4 Digital. It's helps if I wasn't dyslexic. All right, it's 1897. Deep in international waters, the Helios stands still, an unbound utopia for scientific research, born of Nikola Tesla's vision. Journalist Rose Archer steps aboard in search of her sister Ada, quickly to discover not all is as it seems. The stench of rotting flesh lingers in the air. Silence. A single word is painted across this entrance. Quarantine!
That sounded like somebody from a musical just busted in at the end there.
I just figured I'd add some little flair at the end after being so dramatic.
What's interesting about that is it sounds right up my alley with that time period and what's going on, but I don't know what we're actually supposed to do. What kind of game is it? Do you know what I mean?
You're supposed to find your sister.
I know, but is it an RPG? Is it a walking simulator? Like what am I actually doing? Like what kind of game is it? I guess is the question I have. That's what I don't understand.
Well, IGN's review is called Tesla Terrors, so I would imagine it's like a spooky kind of... I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm pretty sure I've seen gameplay of it. It looks pretty cool.
Okay. Well, I'll have to look it up. Close to the Sun will be on my to-do list. All right. This next one is actually... I'm a little confused why it's out again. I guess because it's a deluxe edition. Cool Painter VR Deluxe Edition. I have Cool Painter VR regular. Enjoy the full Cool Painter VR experience and bring out the artist you have inside with the Deluxe Edition where, in addition to the original game, you will get the Voxel DLC as well as future gifts. Draw in space and share your creations with other artists. The only limit is your mind.
Ooh.
That's a pretty cool game. I gotta say, I do like that.
Yeah. All right, up next, Delta Squad, PS4 Digital. Delta Squad is an arcade game that will bring back memories of games from the 90s, but with a fresh look for the modern era. Having already survived an alien invasion in full blast, the Delta Squad must now do battle against General Rumanovsky, a maniacal overlord who will stop at nothing to achieve global domination.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good. All right. That sums it up. Disgaea 4 Complete Plus. When the ruling powers of Hades are revealed to be corrupt, Valvatores must spark a rebellion to bring them down, armed to the teeth with dynamic, over-the-top gameplay and a horde of special features. This is the ultimate Disgaea. All right, this next one I'm excited about.
Alrighty. I was too until I learned the price, and I was like, BS.
What's the price?
I was so mad. It's like $40.
Oh, well, you're getting 2 games.
Yeah, two Sega Genesis era games.
There's still 2 games.
Look up the price while I'm reading it. All right, either way. Disney Classic Games, Aladdin, and The Lion King, PS4 digital retail. 2 of the most beloved Disney games of all time take their long-awaited return to modern consoles in Disney Classic Games, Aladdin, and The Lion King. Featuring multiple game versions, in-game rewind, museum features, and more. Multiple game versions?
Yeah, The Lion King has multiple versions.
Interesting. How much is it? Did you look it up?
Yes, $29.99.
Okay, 30. I swear,
That's not...
I swear it was 40 on Switch.
It might have been on Switch. Might be, because Switch is actually where I planned on getting it. But the PS4 version is $29.99, so I don't know if there is a difference for Switch. Let's find out, shall we? Yeah. The Switch version is also $29.99.
Oh, okay.
So maybe you should get it. I know I will. All right, probably get it on Switch because that feels like a more appropriate place to play those. Dusk Diver. When an unstable dimensional rift brings together gods, phantoms, and humans, headstrong high school girl Yang Yumo must step up to protect the neighborhood. Fight alongside your guardians as part of a dynamic, action-oriented combat system in the bustling streets, stores, personalities, and even cuisines of Taipei.
Ooh, cuisines.
Interesting.
That's cool.
Oh,
all right.
Finally, we interviewed this one.
What?
I said we interviewed the gentleman for this next one.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
Cool. I don't
A little
remember.
fuzzy there. You don't remember?
Is this the one that I missed?
This may have been the one you missed.
Okay. The Forbidden Arts. PS4 digital out 11/1. The Forbidden Arts is an action-adventure platformer with a focus on discovery and exploration. When the hero of the game, Phoenix, seeks the counsel of a druid to make sense of his visions, she awakens the latent pyromancy within him. This begins an epic journey from Phoenix's humble beginnings as he seeks to master the element of fire. Ooh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, I thought you were there for that one, but I might be wrong. But I'm excited. It's finally coming out. I believe, if I remember correctly, it's been on Switch or PC. I know it's been on PC. You know, obviously it was in access on PC for a while there. But I also thought for some reason it had come to Switch before this. But it's finally coming to PS4. Definitely check it out, Forbidden Arts. I know that's one I'll be, I'll get in touch with him and check it out. Maybe we'll do a little bit of gameplay review or something like that as well. I'll reach out to him. All right, Ghost Parade. Ghost Parade. There's something spooky in the neighborhood. No, there's something spooky in the woods. And I need your help. Team up with 30 ghostly companions, each one lending a unique ability. Explore this spine-tingling, scrolling action-adventure and work together to get everyone safely home. There's something spooky in the woods, and it needs your help. I did not like that write-up. That was rough.
All right, up next, Harvest Moon Mad Dash, PS4 digital. Go solo or take along a few friends in this fast-paced farming frenzy. Harvest, fish, milk, and more as you fulfill orders to complete each level. But watch out for the molten lava, raging boars, and other obstacles. Can you and your friends try to clear all the levels to restore the broken lighthouse? What do raging boars and molten lava have to do with farming?
I don't know.
What?
It looks so gentle on the arcade or on the cover. I mean, right? Like, oh, yeah. She's carrying a tomato. He's fishing. Some little like weird fairies on his fishing pole. There's a cow sleeping by a pumpkin, and then you're like, raging boars, molten lava, and it's like, what is going on in this town?
I mean, Harvest Moon is a cartoon.
Right.
I don't know.
So
let's continue.
I don't either.
Moving on. We have a lot to do.
Lost Artifacts. Time Machine. A mysterious villain is using a time machine to destroy everything in his path. He wants to return the priest, the king of Atlantis, and the ancient emperor, so he can use them to create a new world order. Claire, this one's taken a dark turn too. Claire and her friends must find out who the villain is and stop him and all his minions. Hurry, let's go on a journey. That one also got very dark there. Like, what is going on?
It's that time of year, Rob. But
look at the cartoon drawing. It's like, it looks so peaceful, and then all of a sudden it's like, the New World Order. Try explaining that one to your kid.
All right, up next we got Miles and Kilo. PS4, PS Vita, digital cross-buy, Rob's favorite. Miles and Kilo have been attacked by a mischievous specter. With their plane in pieces and a gang of thieving scoundrels running off with the important parts, the unfortunate duo's only hope of escape is to embark on a thrilling chase across a haunted island. Ooh.
Interesting.
Yeah, also a very upbeat and light cover art, and then it's a haunted island.
Yeah, I like it. Alrighty, Cubit's Quest. It's your job to protect Cubit. Welcome to the Rover Blaster Tactical Team. Your mission is to ensure the safe delivery of Cubit's communications and data. Be careful. Cubit has a tough exterior, but is easily distracted. You must keep him safe at all costs. The success of the Resistance depends on you. Follow Cubit on adventures and play with friends.
Okay. Up next, we got Spirit of the North. PS4 Digital Out 11.1. Spirit of the North is a single-player, third-person adventure game inspired by the breathtaking and mysterious landscapes of Iceland. Ooh, I would definitely like to play this. With various pieces of Nordic folklore, the game purposefully has no dialogue or narrative. Breathe in the surroundings to solve various puzzles and speculate the meaning of a lost ancient civilization. I might have to pick that up.
Interesting. No dialogue or narrative.
Yeah, right?
All right. Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion HD renovation. Can you survive thousands of rooms of cute terror, or will you break once the cuteness starts to fade and you're running for your life from the unspeakable hideous beings that shake and writhe in the bowels of this house? VR is optional, and you can play through the entire game in VR. Interesting.
Ooh, cool. All right, up next, Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz HD.
Kind of excited
PS4
for this.
Digital. Hold on to your bananas because Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz HD is rolling your way. Experience the magic of one of the most beloved titles in the series, now remastered in HD.
All right. I can get down with that.
I don't know what this is, but this cover art looks amazing.
For Monkey Ball?
No, the next one.
Oh, yeah, I know, right? Twin Cop, the most cooperative game ever. Twin Cop is the most cooperative game ever. You and your friend are Twin Cop. One player controls the right arm, the other controls the left arm. You and your partner now each control half of the same body, so you'll really need to be in sync with one another if you're going to survive. Oh,
I think awesome.
I want a Let's Play of that.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. To be honest, I think we should play that.
I
hope there's online connectivity. I hope it's not couch co-op.
I know, because that's really something I need. I need a Let's Play of.
All right. Up next, we got Vector Wars, PS4 Digital. The year is 2024, and you are Commander James Moses, a space ranger. Your mission, destroy the robot death army, rescue the robo-dudes, and save the world. Select your weapon and use your skills to face down a tidal wave of rogue robots. Fanatic gameplay. Oh, frantic, not fanatic. Frantic gameplay, an array of loud and destructive weaponry. You must cheat death at every turn.
All right. Interesting. All right, we're getting near the end here. Vosaria.
Almost, though, but there's a lot of V's.
Yeah. Lair of the Forgotten, a pump action 2D side-scrolling game with different enemy types, along with a jump to the roof mechanic that spices up the combat. Avoid traps, survive enemy encounters, and upgrade your weapons and gear to overcome the challenges.
Ooh, okay. Up next, Voyage of the Dead, PS4 Digital Out 11.1. An action-packed shooter set on a cruise ship overrun by a zombie outbreak, where up to 4 players can get caught in the chaos. It's your job to fight against a horde of undead menaces and protect the passengers. Mars LightCon and IR Station are needed to play this game.
Okay.
I thought it was part of the descriptions.
I know.
Oh, man.
All right. Xenocrisis. Xenocrisis is an arena shooter in which one or two players control battle-hardened Marines on a deadly mission to confront an alien menace. Run and gun your way through thousands of adversaries as you explore the devastated research outpost, searching for survivors and ultimately facing the origin of the outpost's demise.
Alrighty.
Take us home.
Yep, finally. Yeah, we can't get Dino Crisis, but we can get Xenocrisis. Oh well. Alright. The last one. Finally. We've made it through the list. Yakuza 4 Remastered. As part of the Yakuza Remastered collection, experience Yakuza 4 in 1080p and 60 FPS. A murder in Tojo clan territory soon sets off an investigation by a small Tojo branch. Follow the four playable protagonists as they unravel a battle over money, power, status, and honor, and a mysterious woman at the center of it all.
All right. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Well, that is it, thankfully. Whew.
We made it. We made it through.
That was a long, long read. But, yeah, we survived. All right. Well, That's going to wrap it up for this week, I guess, huh?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah. You got anything else to add? Anything else you need to tell us? Anything worthwhile?
Close to the Sun is a first-person horror adventure video game.
Okay. First-person horror adventure video game.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Makes much more sense now.
Yeah.
Cool.
It looks pretty cool.
But... Yeah, I'm excited about yeah, I guess I'll check that. I'll just look at that one. And then I'm definitely looking into Twin Cop because I feel like Twin Cop needs to be one of those ones that we need to check into and see if it's worth
100%.
Yeah, so I'm going to look into that one and see. It's been out apparently for a couple of years now. It says grab a friend, a couch, and get it on Steam. And so it makes me wonder if it's only
Couch co-op.
Couch co-op, which would be a shame. Missed opportunity there.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that's what it looks like. Goodness. Oh, well. All right. Oh, man, it looks intense, too. All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up.
It is.
And so thanks for joining us. If you like what you hear, please find us on Apple Podcasts. Find us on YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe. Find us on the podcast service of your choice. And if you don't want to do any of that and you just want to listen to us, we appreciate that too. Feel free, though, to do more if your heart so desires. And Matt, until next time, I guess, game on.
Game on. Twin Cop outro music. This is the Twin Cop outro music. You're the left arm, I'm the right arm. We're the same person, so it's Twin Cop.
I like it. I think we're going to go with some Disney there, and I thought, don't do that. We'll get copyrighted.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah, whole new
Good
world
thing I
or something
didn't.
like that.
Right?
Yep.
Oh, man.
Good times.
Good times.